So today I am going to talk about the time my house was searched by the police. There was like a search warrant and they came in, all that. So I'm talking about that today. Okay, my bangs, you know what? I got them wet and like flipped them back hoping they'd dry in a different direction, and it made it fucking worse. So anyways, there a couple videos ago I had talked about how I lived in a house that was infested with mice. So this story takes place in the same house. And I've also talked about an ex-boyfriend that was abusive, and I lived with him in this house for a certain period of time. And this is during that time when we did live together. So, I'll just go ahead and in chronological order. So first thing that happened was we're going to call him D. So D, my ex-boyfriend, caught up with his cousin. We're just going to call him Cuz. So D and Cuz were hanging out a lot, doing bad stuff. So D was a bad guy. He broke the law constantly. He was addicted to crack, which, no shame, like, addiction is addiction. I smoked it with him a couple times too. So, I mean, like, it is what it is. But he was really bad into it, and he just would steal from people. He would do anything and everything. He didn't give a fuck. Like, he was in and out of jail from childhood. He was very institutionalized. He didn't know how to live out in the free world. He had never had a job. Didn't even know how to fill out an application. Things like that, you know. So all he knew how to do was run the streets. So that's him and Cuz were doing just that. And one day Cuz came over, and he came in and brought in a sawed-off shotgun. And for those who don't know, those are fucking illegal. You can't have those. He brought it in, and he thought it was so fucking badass, and he was showing it to D, and they were like going on and on about how fucking cool it was. And then Cuz offered it to me to look at it, and I was like, nope, my fingerprints are not going on that thing. I said, I'm not touching it. Not one of my fingerprints is going to wind up on that thing. So I didn't touch it, and that was a smart move. But, like, I was, like, dead set. I am not touching that. Sorry, hang on. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can sit. I'm probably making it worse. It was probably just fine where it was. Okay. So I refused to touch it. I refused to put my fingerprints on it. I just had a feeling about this, right? So they decided to hide it under our mattress. You could see the mattress, like, lifted up, right? Like, raised up, like there was something under it. It was a really bad hiding spot, but whatever. And then the next thing that happened was a couple days later, we were hanging out with our neighbor. She smoked crack. It was just one of those things where, like, D thought he could benefit off her somehow, manipulate her, steal from her, even, you know, see if he could get in touch with her dealer. You know, he just thought he could benefit off of the fact that she did the same drug he did. So we went over to her house and we were hanging out, just chilling, and then we left. And then when we came home, he was like, look what I did. And I'm like, okay. And he pulls out a fucking handgun. I'm like, why the fuck do you have a gun? He was like, I took it from her house. I'm like, she's not gonna notice that her fucking gun is missing as soon as we leave the house. I was fucking furious. I was like, why would you do that? It doesn't make any motherfucking sense to take that. She's gonna know we took it. He's like, no, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. I bet they will. So he ended up showing it to Cuz, and he gave it to Cuz to hold on to it for a while. Then, like, the next day or whatever, we went with Dee's mom, and we went shopping and, like, had an actual normal day. And when we came back, she dropped us off. She was driving, so she dropped us off. She came in, helped us bring our stuff in, right? And not a couple minutes later, after we had gotten to the house, you hear, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo! It's the police! We got a search warrant! So, I went and I answered the fucking door. And I knew it was about the guns. I knew it was. It had to be. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. And they explained that the search warrant was for firearms and that our neighbor had filed a police report that Dee had stolen her gun. She left me out of it, which I appreciate because I didn't do it. But, she could have easily been like, those two over there, took it. And, I could have easily been somehow involved. But she said that in the police report, it said that I was his girlfriend and that I went over there that day. But that she suspected that it was Dee that took it, which her suspicions were correct. I think she knew I wasn't, I'm not a shady person and that is not something I would ever do. Maybe she was just looking out for me because I'm a female. I don't know, but she didn't mention me except for the fact that I had come over to her house that day. But as soon as they came in, they said the search warrant was for firearms. I looked at the search warrant. It was for firearms. And I just went and told them, I said, there's a sawed-off shotgun under the bed. They're going to fucking find it, right? I'm not going to say who it came from or any of that. They can figure that out on their own. I'm not a snitch. But I was like, I'm going to be cooperative. I'm probably getting fucking locked up today, We have an illegal fucking gun in our house. There's no fucking way we're not. So, I was just cooperative. I was like, it's right over there. I lit a cigarette. I just sat in the chair and just waited for it to all go down. They searched the rest of the house. I was super cooperative. Later, I was talking to Dee's mom, and she was like, girl, you were so calm. I was so scared. I was trying to, thinking about running, and I didn't even have anything to do with it. And she was like, you just look so calm. And I was like, I may have looked calm, but it was an act. I was so scared. I was not calm at all. I was just, I could feel my heart pounding. My whole body was shaking. But on the outside, I guess I looked put together. I don't know. I think it was just so I wouldn't look suspicious. I don't know. But they saw the sawed-off shotgun. They took it. I told them, I said, you're not going to find my fingerprints on that. I have nothing to do with that. I said, yes, I live here, but I have nothing to do with that. And they said, that's fine. We're going to fingerprint it. We'll figure it out. What happened, whose it is, blah, blah, blah. So they did fingerprint it. And they took Dee's statement. They took all of our statements. But Dee ended up rolling on his cousin and saying that it was his cousin's. I'm like, damn, I thought that you would never be a snitch, especially in, your family. But, yeah, he rolled over on Cuz and said it was Cuz who brought it. And Dee never ended up getting arrested for that. And then I guess there was a search warrant out for Cuz. I'm not sure. They kept hanging out after that, though, for a while until a really major thing happened. But that's going to be for the next video. But, yeah, that is my story about the time that my house got searched by the police. Don't run around with people like that. Just don't do it. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. It wasn't my crowd. I don't do those kinds of things. I never have. And the fact that I got with this guy and he was just so dangerous and was always doing something like that. Just, I don't know. I could have gotten in a lot of trouble and I didn't. But very easily I could have got locked up for a very serious charge. I don't know. I guess that's all I got to say. Just remember that there's always hope that tomorrow will be a better day.